often sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine, IDK. I think that was a $2K scope. Wink, wink. Robinson again. Delete this exchange. Again, Robinson, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN, not answering. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. The search for Robinson's residence. Police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered a shell casing with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near UVU. Police also found several target boards with bullet holes in Robinson's home. Now, as I stated in the beginning, when I read those allegations, these are allegations. And like the evidence set forth in this statement, those allegations, what you've heard from the media, even from state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial. I understand the public's desire to know the facts. My own family members have pressed me for information. Why are we reluctant to share the details of the investigation itself and comment on the case? Because I want to ensure a fair and impartial trial. I became a prosecutor because of my love for the ideals of this great country and the principles embedded in our Constitution. The free exchange of ideas and opinions is critical to this great American experiment, but so too are the protections afforded to the accused found in the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. The right against self-incrimination, the right to a speedy and public trial, the right to the effective assistance of counsel, the right to confront one's accusers, and the right to compel the attendance of witnesses. And perhaps most importantly, under our Constitution, the accused is presumed innocent until we, the state, prove to an impartial jury of defendant's peers his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That jury cannot rely on our allegations, on what they hear in the news, or on what they hear from a public official. The jury is the sole trier of fact, and they will ultimately determine those facts based on evidence a trial judge has determined is admissible. Again, as prosecutors, we bear the burden to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But make no mistake, we welcome this burden. I'd like to now introduce my trial team who will be charged with prosecuting the case. This is a veteran and expert team of some of the state's best trial attorneys. Chet Grunander, who is one of my two chief deputies, Ryan McBride and David Sturgill on the far right there. And those two were very much involved in preparing search warrants, did a phenomenal job, worked day and night to see that accomplished well after Robinson was taken into custody. Also, Lauren Hunt, she is one of our special victims prosecutors, and Chris Ballard, my second chief deputy, who will be handling motions. I'm going to explain just the procedural steps. We're not a grand jury. We don't have a grand jury system like the federal courts do. It's a preliminary hearing system. So the arrest and filing of the criminal information are merely the first steps in the criminal justice process. Today at 3 p.m., the defendant will appear before a judge in the Utah 4th District Court for his first appearance to be informed of these charges and to ensure that he has an attorney to represent him. The hearing will be brief. The judge will conduct that first appearance virtually via WebEx. This is not unusual. In the 4th District, all felony first appearances for defendants who are in custody are held virtually. A link to that hearing is available for media on the Utah State Court's X account at Utah State Courts. Now, following defendant's first appearance, he will be entitled to a preliminary hearing. At that hearing, the state will be required to show probable cause that defendant committed the crimes. The purpose of the preliminary hearing is not to determine guilt, but simply to assure the court that the prosecution has enough evidence to proceed to trial. If a judge finds probable cause and binds the case over for trial, an arraignment hearing will be held. At that hearing, a judge will again inform defendant of the charges against him and require him to enter a plea to each charge. The next step following the arraignment is an opportunity for the parties to file any relevant motions and then ultimately the trial itself. This case has generated a tremendous amount of interest across our nation and even the world. The public's desire for information is understandable, but it bears reiterating that this case will be tried in a court of law consistent with our Constitution, not the court of public opinion. Thus, we will only discuss the case with the press occasionally. It will not be a day-to-day or even week-to-week occurrence, but we will only do so in a manner as not to jeopardize the fair trial process. Before I conclude, I want to express my appreciation for the tireless work of our local, state, and federal law enforcement officers. They have an extremely difficult, dangerous, and often thankless job. I'm proud to acknowledge the exceptional work they do every day, and particularly their work on this case. It was truly a marvel to witness. Their skilled work and dedication have brought us to this point. I'm also grateful for the leadership demonstrated by Bo Mason, the Commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety. FBI.
Well, I guess he's just thanking people now, but holy shit. Sounds like he, wow. They got him. I mean, it's a whole lot of evidence.
Sounds like they got the leftist gay guy that everyone suspected and that everyone said. Looks like it turned out to be true.
Yep.
Literally.
It wasn't a groyper. It was somebody who, like he said, the family, he had the text messages. This guy was a homosexual. Wow. So all of you people, we just got the receipts. It's not a groyper. It's not the right first right. You know, I know there's at least one retard in here who was trying to say that, but he just dropped the receipts. This is a far left fag that was very angry because Charlie was a Christian and liked to say how it is sinful to engage in sodomy. He didn't make it a sin. It's already a sin. He's not Jesus. He can't decide whether or not it's a sin, but it is a sinful, and people are mad about that.
They didn't
and
say
so
he
somebody
was a
shot him.
leftist. They didn't say he was a leftist. They said
Yes,
he
they
was
did.
moving more left.
Oh, you're
Well,
such a
geez.
dumbass.
Yeah. See, but hold on, guys. This is an amazing case study, and some of you guys already know this too. For the last several years, I'm talking about probably a decade, these people are just detached from reality. You cannot get them to move or change their fucking mind, no matter how deep or credible the information is. There's nothing going to change them. They want to believe what they believe. That's it. So this fucker is going to leave, like a great deal of the left, is going to leave, not changing their mind. They don't give a fuck. Their conspiracy theories and their made-up belief is more valuable than actual proof and evidence. Go fuck yourself, Othello.
I feel the same way about white supremacists. They say the same shit.
This has nothing to do with white supremacy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It took 1 year.
It has everything to do with it.
As the father said, it took 1 year of his son becoming more left-wing for him to say, I'm willing to commit extremism, murder, assassination.
White supremacists.
Tell me one Goiper, right? Because everyone said it was a Goiper. One time a Goiper killed someone.
The Groypers are they're not racist. The Groypers are not racist.
Yes, they are, you fucking idiot. I literally have been talking to them for fucking years in private chats. Like, Jesus Christ, they are absolutely fucking racist. Like, you're so stupid.
PP, what's up? PP, what's a Groyper?
It's a follower of Nick Fuentes. They're
Yeah,
part
they
of the
are
America
racist.
First package.
Look it up.
Yeah, they are definitely racist. But I mean, here's the thing though. Right, it doesn't matter. Like the racism thing, that's a white issue. You guys got to reconcile that shit. Your children are gonna hate you for it. But here's the thing: it doesn't matter, left or right. They don't like niggas. And after the situation, guess what? There were threats to HBCUs, and now you, black guy, in a fucking tree at a college campus.
What the fuck does that have to
in
do
the
with
South.
ending?
Well,
A black
here's the
person
thing, there's
hangs
a lot of-
himself from a fucking tree?
Listen, check this out. It's
Look out there like an
ironic,
obvious game.
I'm
We're not
saying.
even talking about that shit. Hold on, he just played a whole
It's-
press conference and you won't say nothing about it.
It's the issue. It's ironic that shit comes on the heels of white America's backlash to black Americans' approval of what the fuck happened.
No one gives a fuck about that
There's even black
situation.
Americans.
No one gives a fuck.
nobody
There's even
knows
black
that.
No one gives a fuck.
There's even black Americans. There's even black Americans that don't even
I'm
know
telling you,
what happened, right?
Idiot.
No one
You
gives
know
a fuck about
Did
that.
you
know how many-
just get emotionally triggered?
Not
I
everyone.
literally said
Some.
said there are black Americans that don't even approve of
Black
that
has
shit.
nothing to do with this. You just heard the DA talk.
Listen, dude. Listen,
This is
I don't
stupid,
care.
dude.
I mean, you guys kill each other all the time, just like we kill each other.
Down and shove
Yeah.
and
You don't want to deal with the issue of racism, but this is what Charlie Kirk
You
was
know what?
built on.
This isn't racist. Shove your ignorance.
It
in the toilet,
absolutely
flush
is,
it down,
and you will
and wake your
reconcile
ass
with it. The
up.
thing is, we don't have to make you do it. Your children.
You've
No,
heard
it's
that,
not.
right?
It wasn't racism
You're dumb.
because,
It's Cypress.
hold on a
What I'm
second.
saying.
No,
Cypher,
this is
you're
bullshit.
Hey, what's up?
So, okay, hold on, Sean B. So, no, this is bullshit because, first of all, I made fun of Charlie Kirk all the time. I thought he was a Zionist cuck. I thought he never went hard enough on the, when it comes to like white identity. There's a lot of things. I mean, not a lot of things, but there's things I definitely, I felt a certain way about him, and there was other conservatives that did as well. Now,
I never heard you talk shit about him.
well, I didn't really. He never really came up.
And we've been on the app. I mean, baby, we've been on the app like 4 fucking years ago. Like, I never heard you say shit about him.
Sure.
Can I chime in real quick? If you don't mind.
Yeah, you can go right after me.
Yeah,
so,
go
like,
ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say, but he was not a fucking racist. That was why people further on the right criticized him. To sit here and say he stands on racism and all of this shit. No, he didn't. But it was because he could mention, some things that it might offend the sensibilities of sensitive, fragile, black people. Okay, I mean that doesn't make you racist at the end of the
He
day.
had to clean it up because he's on the
No.
He had to clean
Yeah,
it up.
that's bullshit. I can play a sound bite, bro.
Okay, cool.
But go ahead, Othello.
Yeah, he had to clean it up.
Yeah, so-
But no, shut the fuck up, Othello. Adrian gets to go.
Yeah. I just have a couple questions, man. Like, well, for one, since when did Groypers, become, when did Groypers get into relationships with trans people, or even cohabitate with trans people,
I can show you
or
a link where
sympathize,
a right wing They
that
still
wasn't
list
a cue to start talking.
time.
That wasn't a cue to start talking.
Trans porn.
Othello, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up and let Adrian finish.
This is crazy.
People like him are like why people become like. There's no way. I want to call him the N-word, like because that's exactly how he behaves, and I'm not the one who moved you down. Like, you make people racist, kind of like how Brad made that comment about how, you look bad you make Jews look bad. You just make black people look bad. You're very obnoxious. But go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Since when did Groypers become sympathizers of trans people and their issues? Never known that to happen. Never known that to happen. To about the HBCU shit. How do y'all even know those white people that was making those threats? Right? Because we do know that there are some black people out here that will stage a hate crime to make it seem like white people did it. There are thousands of documented cases of this. I mean, shit, one of the most famous ones was Justice Smollett. He staged a goddamn fake hate crime, and a lot of people fell for that shit. Another thing with the HBCU shit, we don't even have any credible outlets reporting on this. We just see people online saying this shit, and it's just a narrative that is running, right? We don't even know that these are white people or anyone has been charged for this shit, for making these threats against HBCUs. And another thing, black people, if we're going to say,
Jesus, dude,
hey, y'all,
thanks.
get the fuck out of the way. This is white
Just
people
so nice
fighting with each other.
pieces,
This is
which
not
we
our
can
fight.
finally get to
Well,
the
you need to
next
keep
to.
that same energy and stay out of it. Stop antagonizing the shit there. Because once you become an instigator of some shit that has nothing to do with you, you can't get mad when you
Jesus,
get
dude,
popped in the mouth.
thanks.
You can't go screaming victim. Now that, they're making threats against HBCUs. Well, I thought y'all said stay the fuck out of white people's business. Okay, cool. You can't play the instigator and a victim at the same time, black people. Y'all got to stop doing that shit. If you're going to stay out of it, bro, you need to chill. If you're going to say stay out of it, then stay all the way the fuck up out of it then. Don't say shit about it then. Mind your fucking business. And the last thing. Black people being hung right now, guess what? Y'all can't say that that's white people doing it if y'all don't have any fucking proof. Because honestly, me coming from the community that I came from, the activist community here in Ferguson, look up a woman by the name of Melissa McKinnis. I know her personally. Her son hung himself from a tree in their yard. And motherfuckers went and blamed white people and said this was a racist attack when really he was fucking mentally unstable and he killed himself. They tried to blame white people because they couldn't grasp the idea that this nigga killed his fucking self. So y'all gotta stop this bullshit if you don't have fucking proof of blaming white people for the suicide of a mentally ill or mentally unstable black person. Because we don't talk about mental health issues in the black community enough. So because he's hung himself, that does not mean that a fucking white person did that shit. And y'all gotta stop pushing that goddamn narrative. Now I'm done.
Also, on the HBCU things, a lot of people are conflating things because what happened prior to that was a young girl who was stabbed on a subway by a black man who said, and I quote, "I got that white bitch." So there's a lot of things that are going through, like the protest in San Francisco was actually organized and orchestrated on the foundations of the poor little girl.
Right? He got dealt with. Right?
Who got dealt with?
Yeah.
Who
The
got dealt
guy that did the shit on this motherfucker.
He's out free right now.
Nicole Brown, he's in custody. That's all.
He got arrested.
No, he's in a. So for those of you who don't know, if you're in county jail, you go to a county medical facility, and if you go to the county psychiatric hospital, which I'm sure that's where he is, those are locked down like a jail. You can't have like a phone. You can't. It's basically super secure.
You're not roaming the street.
Yeah.
So how is that out free, Brett?
So
I wanted him in prison.
Brad doesn't fucking
on
know.
the toilet and share showers with a bunch of other people. I wanted him to be getting cornholes.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that when you have a diagnosis like schizophrenia, which he already has, that in order for there to even be a trial, they have to do their best to restore him to competency. Otherwise, what will happen is if he's found not competent to stand trial, they won't try him. And then they end up having to civilly, because he poses a danger to the public, he would get civilly committed to a state hospital, which he could end up there for the rest of his life. So that's why they have to do it.
Yeah. And that's the truth. So here's the thing, though. To Adrian's point, it does, here's some points that he raised that are valid, right? But what crosses the line of sucking the white man's dick is all of this vitriol about protecting white civility. Yes, this is their issue, and it is our issue to heal from. I'm not going to blame white people for everything that happens to black people.
What do you have to heal from?
From your trauma. From the trauma that has never been addressed, caused by white supremacy and racism in America, definitely is something that your forefathers created and you've benefited from. The thing is that you have to reconcile that with yourself in history. What we have to do as Black Americans is heal from it. That healing mechanism looks like us being self-accountable, right? And all of that stuff. So I hear that those streams in Adrian's submission. However, this is where the line gets crossed. Get out of their way of accepting their own blame. Because what white people are going to have to deal with is their children's hatred of what history will record of them. Their comments online, the shit that's happened since before they were even born, all the way up until today. And in terms of what happened with Charlie Kirk, yes, that was another white male was offended enough by his fucking words that he took action. Not another black person, but he did.
You're right, bro.
Right? Now, was Charlie Kirk a fucking racist? Absolutely. Did he hide behind fucking Christ? Did he hide behind Christ? I mean, lying is not Christ-like, and it's not good. Sitting here saying that Black Americans that make up less than 13% of the population, according to the census, that make up 55% of the crime, is not only racist, it's fucking ignorant and inarticulate. 38% of the prison population is Black. 57% is white.
It's 55% of the homicides, not the crime.
No, not even the homicides, bro. Listen, check this out.
Yes, you are. Since 2020, you guys have made over 60%. The fuck you talking about?
Look up the facts, bro. Look at the fucking facts. Go to the Bureau of Prisons. 38%, right? 38% of those people that are in prison, 1,600.
Okay, I understand. I understand. You don't understand.
Can I finish, bro?
No, you can't because you're just saying something very stupid.
You shut me up while I'm dropping facts that you don't want to.
No, because you're conflating two very different things. People are in prison. Who the fuck is talking? People are in prison for. Who the fuck said that? Okay, you have 38% of people in prison are Black. Now they could have been put in prison in 2000, 2005, 1995, 1980, from all years. Just because when you see an upsurge in murders in one given year does not mean that the prison the inmates are going to reflect that year's current crime or murder stats. Like, that is fucking retarded. We do know the percentage of, we do know what percentage of the homicides are being committed by Blacks, though. That's very easy to fucking figure out.
10% of those homicides are getting jail